Hi, I'm Chris Walton, editor of UU World Magazine, the UUA's quarterly magazine for members of UU congregations, and our weekly website, uuworld.org. I'm here to talk to you today about how to recognize and promote a newsworthy story about your congregation. Why do you want to share stories about your congregation? There's lots of great reasons. One of the most obvious is to help people find out about your congregation and the values that inspire you. Another reason is to help journalists in your community know that your congregation and its leaders are spokespeople for your values, and they can turn to you when there's a story in the news and they need someone to represent a particular viewpoint. Another reason is to help other UUs and other congregations learn from your successes and your experiences. And finally, a great reason to share stories about your congregation is to inspire and energize your own people, because you are doing great things in your community, and it's great to be reminded of that. So you have a story, a newsworthy story, anytime you can say, here's how we are making a difference. And that can be on many different levels. So you have a newsworthy story if you can say how we are making a difference in your local community. You might have a story when you can show how you're making a difference in a coalition, say an interfaith group or an alliance that's working toward a particular end in your community. And you also have a story when you can show how you're making a difference in the lives of your own members. But what do you do when you have a story? Who do you want to tell about it? It's important to answer this question because it helps you figure out who you're telling, which media outlet to reach out to. So you want to tell your story to your own congregation. Sometimes this is just through your newsletter, it's through your own announcements, it's through your Facebook page. But sometimes you're also wanting to tell that story to the local community. Sometimes your own social media channel is a great way to do this, but you also want to reach out to the local newspaper, the local television station, or the local NPR station. There's also regional media, metropolitan newspapers, or larger media outlets. And those may be the right place to tell a particular story, especially if you're working in a coalition. And finally, there's, of course, UU World, when you have a story that you want to tell or share with other congregations. Now, why do you want to be doing this? Sometimes people experience some frustration sharing stories about their congregation because they send an email to the UUA and they don't hear back. Or you send one press release to the regional newspaper and you don't hear back. Here's some thoughts. You're building up a habit of sharing a story about your congregation, and most groups that send out press releases or announcements, they don't get a bite on every hook that they bait. They need to send out multiple press releases or multiple contacts. And the biggest reason to do this is not so that every story gets in the news, but because you're building a relationship with the journalists on the other end. When they hear from you and see the kinds of things that you're doing, they think, these are people that we could come back to for any number of reasons. They will bite at some point, but even more than that, they know that you're a place that they can turn for news. So don't give up just because a journalist doesn't call you back. You're building a relationship and identifying your congregation as a place that's willing to talk. So there are lots of resources on the UUA website to help you craft a press release or figure out how to reach out. And the UUA has a PR office that will actually help you with personalized information. So you can look at uua.org/communications/PR for just a great list of resources and policies that will help you. But you can also tell the story yourself. Congregations are using Facebook and their own websites. They will use YouTube videos to tell parts of the story with their own community and with the larger community. And those are great places to go, even if a newspaper doesn't buy it or a TV station doesn't come, tell the story yourself. So a crucial part of this is images. Photographs and videos make a huge difference in sharing your story and helping journalists know that there's something that they could also show. It's really important to cultivate photographers in your congregation. You may have professional or semi-professional photographers who are eager for the experience and practice of photographing in your congregation. Think about working with them and encourage them to take photos. These can be incredibly useful because they give you photos that you can use on your own Facebook page, but they also mean that you can show those to media when you're pitching a story. Here are actual people doing this actual cleanup project, or at the State House, or any number of things like that. If you are already taking good photos, that makes your story so much easier to tell. And video is the same way, especially if you're thinking about working or sending something to a TV station. Video of you in action already gives them something to build on. For UU World, we have a page as well where you can send in news about your congregation, story ideas, tips. It's uuworld.org/submissions, and there's information there about photography as well as story ideas and how to send in your stories. There are people here at the UUA eager to help you figure out how to share your story, how to identify a good story, and you can always look at stories that other congregations have shared. Hope this has been useful to you, and we look forward to hearing from you.